Hello, welcome to another talk on money, business, and investing. My name is Jose. I'm the founder of the company and brand here at Master Investor. Ensure to subscribe and turn on the notifications so that we know when we go live or upload a valuable talk on money, business, and investing. Take a look at the links in the description so that we can have access to all of our digital products and ebooks that we have available right now to help us with our finances. It's all about creating financial freedom. That's the ultimate goal, total freedom, is to have excess of cash flow coming into our pockets whenever we're not working. And that cash flow is also known as passive income. Rule number one in our community here at Master Investor is that we work to build passive income and multiply money through sound investing. Our mission is to be the global brand of money, business, and investing that elevates the financial well-being of humanity through high-quality financial education. Made simple, we look at opportunities to build passive income, win-win partnerships, and true wealth. Today, we're going to cover how to get wealthy in down economies or down markets. A lot of people can only make money when the market is going up. The holy grail is to be able to make money in any type of economy. In fact, when the economy crashes, true investors capitalize on opportunities that are being offered to those who get in financial trouble. Money history will inevitably repeat itself, so learn to take advantage of it. Summary: knowledge of real estate history is necessary for future success in real estate investing. Even though real estate market crashes can be frightening, it is not always a terrible thing when a bubble bursts. Become more knowledgeable about finances so that we can profit from the real estate market crash when it occurs. Bonus: at the end of today's talk, we will cover what is a blueprint for financial freedom. Given the current surge in the real estate market, many are curious about how long this trend will continue. The next real estate bubble is actually a question that people ask all the time. We have to prepare for any type of economy, and it's better to be prepared for an opportunity that doesn't show up then it's not to be prepared and the opportunity does show up. We don't ever want to live in regret. We want to have the pain of discipline. It's temporary, but we don't regret anything, and it gets us closer to our highest potential, to our purpose in life. So we have to define what is that we want out of life. What is our mission? What is our purpose? How are we going to develop our talents and monetize them? Can we offer something of value, a product to the marketplace? Do we have an idea? We're going to put it together. There are 5 different asset classes that exist, as we know here inside of our community. Number 1, business. Number 2, real estate. Number 3, crypto. Number 4, paper assets. Number 5, commodities. They all require financial education. We're going to cover real estate today. But at the end of the day, everything comes down to business. The more we know about business, the better investors we are. And it's all about who are we becoming along the journey. That's the reward. It's all about self-development. It's about looking back and seeing the type of people we have become and develop because we put in the effort, the time, and we focus on our craft. Doubling down on the assets column. That is how we escape from the rat race. From a job that we don't like, how do we escape that job? We build a plan, because investing is having a plan. A person that doesn't have a plan and is calling themselves an investor, he or she is wrong. That person is just a trader or a gambler. And in many instances, they're losers because they end up losing all of their money because they don't have a winning business plan with an exit strategy. And investing is having a plan. Those who do not remember the past are condemned to repeat it. So let's take a moment to refresh our recollections with a quick history lesson. In a few minutes, we will see why it is important. Do we recall the 2007 2008 global financial crisis? We do, of course. It was a huge catastrophe brought on by the collapse of the US housing bubble and the subprime mortgage crisis. It almost sparked the Second Great Depression and was the greatest housing crisis in the nation's history. Why did the bubble form? Number one, price increase. Housing prices began a steady increase in the mid 1990s and continued to rise until 2005 when they peaked in July 2006. In addition to being a fantastic investment, residential real estate also appeared to be extremely secure. In a single year, the housing market in some places like Phoenix and Las Vegas increased by about 40%. Number two, low rates of interest. The Federal Reserve dramatically lowered interest rates and then kept them there for a long time after the tech bubble burst in the early 2000s and the terrorist acts of September 11, 2001. Everyone took out loans since it was so simple because they could obtain the loans. People purchased homes that were more expensive than they could afford. Now, they acquired those loans without financial education. As we know here at Master Investor, money is created with debt. Money is debt. Debt is money. So an individual that raises money without financial education and without an investing plan that has an exit strategy, that person's going to lose that money and it's going to end up being in a corner with bad debt and being in a place where there's negative cash flow. It's not positive. So an asset can turn into a liability. Now, are we using debt to invest in a sound asset, or the person is using debt to invest in a liability? And we will be able to tell by the way the cash flow is flowing through the financial statements. That's why the foundation of true wealth is in the ability of reading financial statements. Subprime borrowers eventually struggle with excessive bad debt and were unable to make their mortgage payments. Gum bubbles can only get so large before popping, as anyone who has ever eaten gum knows. And that is exactly what took place. The boom crashed when property prices eventually became unaffordable. Many homeowners and investors were taken by surprise. And in 2008, the number of foreclosure filings in the United States increased by almost 81%. Years later, a lot of people were still wondering why financial professionals and economists were unable to foresee the housing bubble and warn of its impending collapse. Now, perhaps scared by their experience more than 10 years ago, everyone is more tread and alert for the warning signals of another bubble popping. Will it occur once again soon? We may use a number of metrics to assess the state of the housing market in 2023. And now we're in 2025, so things are slightly changing. Let's look at current figures. Number one, increased cost for housing. According to Bankrate.com, June marks the 7th consecutive month that home values have risen nationwide. To put it briefly, the national composite has increased by 4.7%, which is more than the median growth for a complete calendar year in over 35 years. Number two, higher rates of interest. Because interest rates are rising, there may be less demand for homes, just like last year. The average rate for 30-year fixed rate mortgages went up from 6.02% to 7.21%. People can purchase fewer homes when interest rates are higher. if they have to spend more to borrow the same amount of money. Current homeowners will not want to buy a new home and abandon their lower locked-in interest rates. Number three, reduce stock. Low inventory has been an issue for many years. VanED.com claims that because financing rates were so low in 2020 and 2021, inventory is still limited. But since then, these rates have increased dramatically. Now, if the numbers work, regardless of the interest rate, that's why it's important that we master how to read financial statements, because once we can figure out the bottom line of the deal, if that number can cover the expenses of the debt, all the cost, the debt service, and it's putting money into our pocket after all expenses are paid, then that's good debt, and the interest rates work on our favor as long as they get paid from the investment itself, from the cash flow of the investment. And we need to crunch the numbers, because in good deals, the numbers work, and in bad deals, the numbers do not work. Keep it super simple when it comes to investing and building our portfolio with real assets that produce passive income. Investing in real estate that is recession proof. The next real estate boom was already being predicted by specialists in the months preceding the coronavirus outbreak. Let's examine recent events. The first was the savings and loan crisis of the 1980s. The Dow Jones index then lost 23% of its value in 1987 due to the stock market meltdown. The dot-com bubble and accompanying meltdown in 1999 and 2000 were the next significant event. Then came the global financial crisis of 2007-2008, which was brought on by the collapse of the U.S. housing bubble and the subprime mortgage crisis. Now what is next? We must prepare for any type of economy and crash ahead of us. Diversifying among the 5 asset classes that exist successfully is the key to a thriving and affluent future. But hold on, can a crash in real estate market be beneficial? Okay, so this is the response we have been looking for, because people are so desperate in trying to sell. They are far more likely to give us a better bargain during market crashes, which can be the perfect moment to acquire. Some inside investors, for instance, saw it at firsthand in 1981 when they relocated to Phoenix, Arizona, and started purchasing homes one after another one. In fact, I'm sure investors were funding them and offering to pay them to take their properties off their hands because they were so desperate to get out of their financial obligations. Again, an inside investor will look for those people who get into financial trouble because they mismanage their assets, they lack financial education, they don't have the right team in place, the 8 integrities of a successful business, they're not in place, some of them are missing, and they become desperate to get rid of their investments that have become liabilities for them. And now we come in and we take a look at that investment and we figure a winning business plan to improve the assets of that financial statement. Can we improve it? And how fast can we do it? A capitalist is the highest level of an investor, right? That's an inside investor. It's a capitalist. And we're always looking to solve problems from those people that get into financial trouble. That's why it's always important to be above average when it comes to being a business person and investor. That's exactly what we're doing here at Master Investor. That's why we come here, talk about money, study the history of money, and get the right knowledge from the proper mentors so that we can execute a winning plan when it comes to our wealth. So we can create the lifestyle that we want. Our wealth number is different from each other. because we all have different wants and needs in life. We just have to figure out what is our ideal scene, what do we want out of life, and we're going to create a plan, reverse engineer, and we're going to be productive. We're going to provide value to the marketplace and constantly providing value to us through self-development. They gladly concur and undoubtedly had the last laugh because they earned so much money during that period that many wise investors could retire and make more wealth in downturn economies. Taking advantage of the down markets is a skill to develop through financial education and real life experience. Don't pay attention to the critics. The market's extreme pessimism makes it difficult to buy, even if a fall is a fantastic opportunity to do so. If a person is listening to the wrong mentors and to the wrong data online, then that person could miss a big opportunity in front of them, because the right time to purchase is when everybody's selling. When we have financial education and everybody's panicking, that's when we find the real treasures and we capitalize on every single opportunity that is available to us for free, basically, because interest rates are low and basically we can raise capital very easily. It's important that we use OPM, other people's money, to learn how to manage debt is a key factor to building wealth. It's not about being debt-free at all. In fact, as we grow our wealth, we're going to be managing bad debt as well, because we're going to get luxury things that we like. So we need to make sure that we have assets pumping in enough cash flow to cover all the expenses for our liabilities, so that we don't ever have to worry about working to pay for any of our expenses. It's all about positioning ourselves successfully with assets that we control with our companies 100%. We're actively investing. That's what an inside investor is a person that puts businesses and deals together and raises capital and launches ideas to the marketplace, solutions. We're always looking to solve a problem in the world. So the question is, what type of problem do we want to solve? And maybe want to solve 5 different problems, and that is perfectly fine too. Start with one, build a list, and take the first step. It starts with that small step, okay? And as we always talk about in our community, that the best way to improve is by actively doing the real thing. In other words, don't give our money away to anybody to invest. We're going to invest it into financial education so that we know exactly what to do with it. And we don't have to rely on somebody else's performance. We're going to rely on our performance, and we're going to do risk management. We're going to learn how to multiply money, how to speak the lingo, how to build a plan that creates a win-win relationship on all parties involved. But hold on, can a crash in the real estate market be beneficial? Okay, so this is the response we have been looking for. Okay, so we can make money in down economies. That's when we actually capitalize the most. Is by having the right strategy in place, understanding that the economy goes up and down, and that when everybody's panicking, that's when we got to pay attention. And usually when everybody's going left, we got to go right. Because majority of people in the world are average investors. They don't know what they're doing in regards to their wealth. They're listening to the wrong mentors, and they're being puppets of bad advice. We don't want to fall in that category. We will be viewed as completely insane by our friends, family, and probably even our financial advisor, who will attempt to keep us from making a big mistake. Additionally, people will be lining up to be warned that investing is risky. The crucial point to remember is that the different people have different definitions of what investing entails. And the belief that property values will continue to rise may amateur investors enter the real estate market while it was hot and prices were skyrocketing. They most likely intended to sell the property and earn a quick 50,000 or some sort of capital gains income. The very definition of risky is investing merely for capital gains income rather than positive cash flow, or also known as passive income. Usually, the people who invest for capital gains income measure their return on investment with opinions and not facts, and they don't have a winning plan with an exit strategy. Many inside investors are familiar with the principles of real estate investing. It is not necessary to take a chance when investing. All inside investors are familiar with the principles of real estate investing, okay? Because we understand how to read financial statements. We know what is an asset and what is a liability. We know the difference because we can see it by the way the cash flow is flowing. And the only way we can see a cash flow flowing is by reading a financial statement. And when we can read the numbers of the deal, then no one else can tell us what is going on with the deal because we are seeing it. The numbers will tell the exact story behind a business financial health and also a person's financial health. We all have a personal financial statement. And we should look at that every single day and figure out how we're going to improve the assets column. That's the holy grail, is to focus on the assets column, not on the income column, because when we focus on the assets column and we're actively nurturing it, that means that everything else is going to grow on the personal financial statement. The income column is going to grow with passive income coming in from our assets column. The expenses column is going to grow as well because we're going to have more expenses. We're going to have more liabilities because we can acquire more liabilities. Now we have excess of positive cash flow. And not all expenses are bad, neither. But we may want to have luxury in our life or things that we like to have. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as we have an asset that is taking care of the payments for that liability. Therefore, it's free for us because we're using the income from the investment. And as long as we have the right systems in place and it's a true asset, then that asset makes us money whenever we're not working because it's running on its own. Doing the selling and telling for us is providing the solution to the end user on autopilot because we have all the systems in place, because a sound business is a system of systems, as we have learned here in our community. The foundation of sound cash flow investments is a strong understanding of finance. Investing becomes far less risky when one understands and adheres to the fundamentals. Although there will always be some degree of risk, it can be significantly decreased by adhering to prudent investment practices and making plans to cover any losses. And remember, we invest with insurance too. We do business with insurance. We even make money when we lose. Start now. Assuming we want to get into the real estate market while it is about to plummet, to help us decide if real estate investment is right for us, here are some benefits and drawbacks to consider before we start. The benefits or pros of investing in real estate. Number one, benefits of taxes. Depreciation is a yearly deduction that can be written off as an expense against revenues and represents a percentage of the property's worth. Low-income housing, historic building rehabilitation, and some other real estate projects are eligible for tax credits or tax advantages. our tax liability is immediately reduced by a tax credit. Gains from the sale of real estate may be deferred forever in several nations as long as the money raised is used to buy more real estate. 2. Time. Typically, we need enough time to complete our assignments, compare options, examine data, and decide which investment is the best for us. We need to go and do due diligence. The most important words in business language are cash flow. The second most important words are due diligence. 3. Real estate ownership experience. We can invest in real estate if we're able to purchase our own house or place of living. Remember, we're going to be using other people's money. We can also use seller financing. We can become very creative when it comes to raising capital so that we can finance our deals. When we have a sound deal, money will find us. There is enough and plenty of money for everybody to invest because money is created with debt. There's infinite amount of money that we can invest simply for the reason that today money is created with debt. The economy functions with debt. And this happened on August 15, 1971, when President Nixon separated the gold standard from the US dollar. From that point forward, that's when money became fiat money, became monopoly money, paper money, debt, a currency, and just an idea backed up by confidence. And the reason why we did that as a nation was because we are a nation that imports more than exports. Therefore, if the dollar is attached to the gold standard, then we would have gave all the gold that we had to other countries like China, and that would have not been good. So that change in the law and money was the best change we could have ever experienced because it gives us the ability to become wealthy through debt and minimize taxes all the way to zero, the highest expenses humans have. The most highest expense humans have are taxes. Finding a way to minimize taxes is already a path to building financial freedom. If we can just take care of that, we can assure to become way wealthier than the average human being because they give their money to taxes most of their life. They never figure out how not to pay taxes legally. Somehow they believe that paying taxes is patriotic, and it is not. It's the very opposite. This country, the capitalist country of the world, the United States, is built with the foundation of not paying taxes legally. It is actually patriotic not to pay taxes. That means that we are doing something great for the country and for the world. We're providing a solution that is helping the economy and is helping the government in sectors that they are interested in developing, such as energy, technology, in other sectors that are important for the nation. And when we do that, we become partners of the government. We become partners of the laws, of the tax code and the tax laws that exist, that are in place for us to take advantage, to grow, to bring more jobs to the market, to provide solutions to the world, to inspire others, and to be able to make the world a better place because we are investing in causes that we are passionate about. So we need to figure out what is that we want to provide to the world. Find a need and fill it with a solution. And invest in the 5 different asset classes that exist so that we can protect ourselves from down economies and hedge for any type of inflation. Since this economy runs on debt, that means that inflation will continue to rise because inflation is the result of printing money through debt. And today we are over $31 trillion in national debt, and it's not going to stop. And we should all be happy because that means that we can become wealthy too by printing money legally. As long as we have a good business plan and we have a deal and we can read financial statements, money will find us. We raise capital. The job number one of a wealthy entrepreneur, as we learn inside of our community at Master Investor, is to raise capital. And the number one skill to develop is to sell with smart systems and targeted marketing, putting that product in front of the right group of people that already decided to purchase what we have because they have that problem. And we figure out where they are, and we also use systems to put that message in front of them so that they can go ahead and purchase from us because we are in authority and we are doing the right marketing and we have the right qualified leads coming to us. We're not chasing anybody. We're putting the message in front of the right group of people. And because of that targeted marketing, we are creating a ripple effect of people talking about our products and exchanging benefits of our products with each other, basically selling the product for us. That's the type of products we want to create for the world, something that can be shared among our customers because they like it so much, because we are under promising and over delivering. So when it comes to real estate, it takes time. It starts with looking at 100 properties, right? And going through a due diligence and learning, talking to brokers, to real estate agents, getting the team together, talking to a tax attorney, talking to a corporate attorney. And we need to improve our business lingo because we have to talk to the professionals and we have to put them on the same mission. And they will only listen to people that are true leaders, people that can lead with strength, courage, and leadership. Number 3, real estate ownership experience. We can invest in real estate if we are able to purchase our own house or place of living. I believe I mentioned that already. Number 4, home-based business. Incorporate our family and partner into every rental home we buy. Together we can learn and create wealth. Everyone on the same page in the same household can do miracles and can change the future for the better. Number 5, OPM, other people's money, leverage. A down payment of 10%, 20%, or 30% may be made with the remaining funds coming from a bank, lending organization, or private individual. For merely $10,000, $20,000, we may acquire a property worth $100,000. And those $10,000 or $20,000 that we're putting down as a down payment, we can also raise that money through a credit card if we have the ability to do so, or we can do it in a different way. Remember, as an inside investor or capitalist, which is the highest level of an investor, a master investor, we are creative when it comes to raising capital. We don't just use our own capital that we have to invest. Before we invest our capital, we first figure out how to raise more capital with the capital that we have through good debt. We can also use OPM, other people's money, for the down payment as we gain experience and sophistication. Number 6, and that debt is also tax-free. Remember, all debt is tax-free because money is created with debt. That's why it's critical that we learn how to get into good debt and also learn how to manage bad debt. The more debt we have and the more we can manage it successfully, the less we'll pay in taxes legally. And we'll pay zero in many instances. Number 6, cash flow. Real estate can present enormous income flow potential if it is bought and handled properly. Number 7, appreciation. That's the type of income we want to go into. Passive income, or also known as positive cash flow. 2 types of income that can come from investing: positive cash flow and capital gains income. And the other type of income that exists in the world, there are 3 that exist: capital gains income, passive income, or also known as positive cash flow. And the other one is earned income. That's what majority of people work for, which comes from a job. That's when a person exchanges or sells their time for money. And that income is taxed at the highest bracket, and that type of income is too hard to become wealthy because a person only has 24 hours to work, and that person has a limit of how much money he or she can make. It is okay if a person loves their job. However, everyone should learn how to invest, because at some point, maybe the person doesn't want to work there anymore and wants to replace that income that they had with some sort of income that will be able to even be more than that, so that they don't feel the shift and they don't have to live below their means. They can continue to expand and pursue their purpose in life. A lot of people are not living through purpose because they're too busy working for money, and they have not yet figured out how to multiply money, how to make money while we're sleeping through sound investing. A lot of people are afraid of investing because they don't get the education that we're getting here at Master Investor. We're going to be talking about money every single day so that we can improve our finances. The more we talk about money, the more we educate our people around us, the people that we hang around with, our team, our inner circle, the more we talk about projects, about building businesses, the wealthier we will become, the more of a chance we will have to succeed in whatever we are building, because we're constantly talking about it. We're looking and attracting data and opportunities regarding that investment or business that we are talking about. So we want to have wealthy friends. We want to be networking with the right group of people. 7, appreciation. A gradual rise in the property's value. Our rents will rise if we take good care of the property. The property's worth increases as our rents rise or our expenses decrease. Rental properties can provide income in two ways: positive cash flow, like I mentioned, passive income, and capital gains income. Appreciation. 8, control. We are in charge of our property's revenue, cost, and debt. It's very important to have control over our assets when it comes to building true wealth. Number 9, reduce susceptibility to market fluctuations. The daily fluctuations of the markets do not affect a property that generates positive cash flow. Since real estate investing is usually a long-term strategy, a lower market may be the ideal moment to purchase. The drawbacks of investing in real estate. Number 1, time lag, financing, inspections, appraisals, counteroffers, and offers all require time. Number 2, not liquid. The ability to turn an asset into cash is known as liquidity. Real estate cannot be bought and sold rapidly all the time unless we have other investors ready to buy our investments. 3, hard. After business, real estate is the second most challenging of the 5 asset classes. Additionally, we may have to deal with poor tenants and vacancies. Here are the 5 asset classes that exist today. Number 1, business. Number 2, real estate. Number 3, crypto. Number 4, paper assets. Number 5, commodities. We must control assets in all of the 5 asset classes to become wealthy, protect ourselves from any type of inflation, and win in down economies. 4, time consuming. Getting a good deal takes time. Daily property management is required. That's why we must build the team, and even before we go into the deal, we already know who is going to take care of the property. We have people in place. In fact, we might just even carry over the same team that was taking care of the property before we acquire it. It can happen in many deals. We may want to keep the current team, but we have to know exactly who's going to be running the deal, because we have to show it to the bank or whoever we're raising capital from. They're going to want to know who's going to be taking care of the deal, and they have to feel confidence enough that that team is going to be able to take care of that business, because they don't want an asset to turn into a liability for them, for any investor involved in the deal. We want to make sure that everybody is winning. Will 2025 see a market crash then? Knowing that history tends to repeat itself does assist to keep prospective investors on guard, even though we cannot be positive if we are currently in a bubble or if it is soon to burst. Avoid being intimidated. A strong financial education is our best defense and offense, and there is never a better moment to begin planning for difficult times. We must master how to diversify among the 5 asset classes that exist and utilize as much debt as possible to minimize our taxes to zero, because we are building passive income, which is taxed at the lowest bracket. It's also known as positive cash flow. Turn liabilities into assets. We can only do that when we have financial education, mentors, and a winning business plan with an exit strategy. Investing is having a winning business plan with an exit strategy that is profitable and beneficial to us. Adopt the cash flow pattern of the wealthy class. As we can see on our screen, if we're watching this on YouTube, on our channel, we can see the diagram of the cash flow pattern of the wealthy class. Specifically, we focus on the assets column, and that brings income into our income column, which comes from passive income and capital gains income, sometimes from assets that we control with our companies. And that income now goes down into the liability column and goes up the expense column, because we're using that income to pay for all of our expenses. And then a lot of those expenses will go back into our asset column, because we have the ability to turn liabilities into assets. When we invest, we must focus on our assets column, not so much on the income column. Rule number 1 in our community is that we work to build passive income, positive cash flow, and make money multiply fast and sound investing. Today's bonus. What is a blueprint for financial freedom? Before we embark on our adventure, make sure we know exactly what we want. We don't necessarily have to put in more effort while scaling up. Being financially independent is just the first step toward our objectives. Successful investors typically begin with a very different course in mind. Once the person begins to acquire financial education and shifting the context of their mindset regarding money, then they will ask themselves, is this how their life will be in 5 years? After glancing at their boss, less flexibility, more meetings, and even less time to accomplish the things they love? That is a scary idea. Consequently, a decision is made, the decision to take charge of their destiny and leave their comfort zone. It never happens quickly and is never simple, but anyone may achieve financial freedom if they are prepared to plan, work smart, and persevere. Here are 7 points to master to build financial freedom like the ultra wealthy. Number 1, plan our escape and define our vision. Not defining what one really wants is one of the biggest blunders people make. Everyone claims to desire to be financially independent, but what does it mean to us personally? Is it a global journey, more time spent with family, launching a company? Writing down our objectives is the first step taken. This provided us with direction and a goal to strive for. Research indicates that those who put our goals in writing have a far higher chance of succeeding, and those who share their goals with others have an even higher chance. Clarity is not only inspiring, it is necessary. We will be aimlessly pursuing possibilities if we don't have a defined destination. Therefore, spend some time defining our freedom and what it will entail after we get it. Number 2, the journeys 3 stages: start, win, and strive. Achieving financial independence takes time. There are distinct phases to the journey. Start, win, and thrive are the 3 stages that we talked about in here. The goal of the survive phase is to pay for our essentials, right? To get started, is to get our living expenses paid by our income that is coming in from our assets that we control with our companies. So we need to figure out how much does it take for us to live right now per month, and we're going to create a plan that is going to help us acquire our first cash flowing asset that will cover those expenses. At that point, we're financially free. Once that asset covers those expenses month after month, because it's doing the selling and telling for us on autopilot, then now we're financially free. It may only take one asset. It may take more than one asset. We'll have to figure out how much is our living costs per day and per month, and then reverse engineer. Here's where we work smart to pay our electricity, groceries, and rent or mortgage. Only the necessities are allowed here, not luxury. However, we have a plan and constantly living above our means. We don't live below our means. We have to expand. So I want us to think big. I want us to think in abundance. I want us to think like the ultra wealthy, positive, optimistic. However, we have a plan with small tasks that we execute daily. We have to do something every day, and we have to learn something about money daily too, like we're doing by coming in to our podcast and our talks of money that we're having every single week, and taking action on whatever we're learning from our mentors. So we have a plan, and we're living above our means. However, we're being smart about where we allocate our profits. We have a plan for every single dollar that comes into our income column. We have advanced to arrive stage when we have mastered the start stage. We have some breathing room now, some discretionary expenditure, such as eating out or shopping on Amazon, is within our means. Although it is still small, it feels like a step forward. However, we want to continue expanding our means. Always live above our means, because we want to expand. We don't want to shrink. We hit thrive at last. At this point, our living expenses are entirely covered by our passive income. We are free to do as we like whenever we choose. This stage may seem like the end goal to many, but as we will find out, it is actually just the beginning. 3. The structure, capital, expertise, and hustle. We need 2 of the 3 things: money, expertise, or hustle, to succeed in real estate or any business, really. Here's about our experience. Some of us have relied on hustling when we first started because we lack funds and in-depth expertise. We went to every local event, knocked on doors, made cold calls, and put forth a lot of effort to discover offers. That sweat equity enabled us to learn. Hustle is free if we are just getting started, but the reward is priceless. In addition, we do not work for earned income. If we truly want to be wealthy, we must work for passive income and sometimes capital gains income. We may work smart, network, and learn without spending any money at the beginning, because we can raise capital, we can utilize credit cards, and as long as we're investing those in the right places, then it's going to come back to us, because we have a plan, we have an extra strategy, we know exactly when we're going to recoup our money back, and we're investing in our self-development, which is priceless. No one can take that away from us, and we can create so much with just knowing what we don't know. Because at the end, what it takes for money to make money is financial education and a winning business plan. Money alone does not multiply. We can collaborate with someone who has the funds after we have established our hustle and expertise. Deals are made in this way. A wealthy entrepreneur number one job is to raise capital, and the number one skill is to sell with smart systems and targeted marketing. This approach is applicable to both small and large deals. It is straightforward but effective. A big deal takes the same amount of time than a small deal. So let's not be afraid of the size of the deal. In fact, when we present a bigger deal to the bank, they're more interested in the bigger deal because they're looking at the deal itself. They stop looking at us as individuals because the money is going into the big deal. We want to learn how to manage not only the small deals, not only those deals that may seem easy, because when it comes to the bank lend the money, they want to lend money to a bigger deal because they're betting on that deal, and that deal has financial statements. The banks are looking for those numbers in those financial statements to ensure that the income can cover the mortgage. And that's what they want to make sure that it does that. And once they can confirm that, then they will be willing to give us the loan that we're looking for, and we can partner up with the bank, and we can even create more deals with that same bank, or we can go to a different bank because now we have one deal under our belt. But it starts with that one first step, writing down a list, looking at different deals, making a plan, figuring out exactly the exit strategy of the deal, and everything that we have covered thus far today. Number 4, smart systems over hard work. A common misconception is that scaling up entails more effort. However, it does not. Systems, not perspiration, are the key to scaling. The procedure for purchasing a 2-unit building is almost the same as that for purchasing a 2-unit building. Or a two-unit building, or 6-unit building, or even a 12-unit building. The way we assign and oversee the work makes a difference, not the task itself. We may handle everything by ourselves at first. We may be in charge of the finances, tenant management, and cold calling leads. As we grow as leaders, then our organizations will grow too. We, however, learned to delegate as we scaled. In order to free up our time to concentrate on more ambitious projects, we recruited others to handle the small tasks we may perform at the beginning stages of building our ideal lifestyle. The secret is to trust our team and understand how to manage people, because business is all about people. This is where real scalability occurs. 5, the influence of postponing satisfaction or delayed gratification. It takes work to become financially independent. It must be something we intentionally create. Being able to do the work we love is more important than being able to sit back and do nothing. And that is crucial. That's a crucial difference. Freedom is about choosing projects that fulfills and thrills us, not about running away from work. However, it also implies that we must start making sacrifices early on. Choices are the most important thing we got to master in this life. Making the right choices comes with having intelligence. When we start earning more money, it is common to seek instant gratification. But what distinguishes people who accumulate wealth from those who do not is the ability to postpone gratification, the unique selling point that leads to our ultimate financial independence. 6, the objective is total freedom. The fact is that having money will make us more happy. When we reach our financial objectives, we will need a strong purpose to continue to build and acquire businesses that help the world and causes we care about. At this moment, we should understand that money should be used to create opportunities for living a life we love and help the world become a better place for future generations. Financial independence and real estate are amazing resources for creating the life we desire. However, the trip or the journey is more than merely breaking free from the 9 to 5 grind or hitting a certain quantity of money. It is about the person we grow into. Clearly define our objectives, work smart, continue to learn, and keep in mind that financial independence is only the beginning when we eventually achieve it. Make the most of our freedom by producing something worthwhile for both us and other people. That is the actual success plan. Number 7, aim for the 3 E's of a master investor. Financial education is the first E. The second E is financial experience. And the third E is excess of cash flow. That's when we know we are an inside investor or a capitalist, or also known as a master investor. When we have those 3 E's, financial education, right? We have financial education daily. We're listening, we're reading, we're improving our lingo. We have financial experience. We're actively investing because a capitalist is an active investor. Number 3, excess of cash flow. We thrive through passive income. We use passive income to pay all of our living expenses and any other expense that we want to have in our lives. We use passive income to pay for everything in our lives. And sometimes we will use capital gains income as well, but specifically we're building passive income because that's where true wealth is created, and that's how we reach total freedom. That is how we become truly financially free and accumulate true wealth, which is measured in time and our excess of money. It's not just measured with money. It's measured with the time that we have available to us without doing anything. Starting right now, how long can we go without working and still be able to thrive? Not by shrinking, but living the way we want to live, maintaining that and even improving it, because it's all about living above our means. We're supposed to continue to rise and grow. That is what financial freedom is all about. And being a capitalist is to be able to create the lifestyle that we want because we're providing solutions to the world. And we're helping other people's life become better. Financial freedom is the first aim, and then once there, we continue to double down on our assets column using debt and paying zero in taxes legally. Now we should be working smarter and making more passive income on autopilot. Start investing in high quality financial education by reading our financial ebooks. We have 3 right now. What are the 10 new rules of money? How to build cash flow with the internet, turn passive income on, how to invest in crypto to build wealth, understanding Bitcoin and blockchain, get additional resources and tools, go to our newsletter, follow us on Instagram, follow us on the podcast, subscribe to the newsletter so that we have the articles coming into our email as we publish them. Subscribe to the YouTube channel here. Follow us on all other social media platforms. Let us know if you have any questions. Drop your comment below. And make sure you go to our website and get our ebooks. Start investing in financial education right now, because that's the first E of a master investor. Act on that education. Whatever we learn, we got to apply it. And we got to also teach somebody else what we learn, because that's how we even become greater. And number 3, we apply, right? We show somebody what we learn. Okay, so number one, we learn something new. Number two, we apply it in our lives. Number three, we show somebody what we learn so that we can hone down on our craft. And then focus on those 3 E's: financial education, financial experience, and excess of cash flow. Our mission here at Master Investor is to be the global authentic brand of money, business, and investing that elevates the financial well-being of humanity through high-quality financial education made simple. We look at opportunities to build passive income, win-win partnerships, and true wealth. Today, we cover how to get wealthy in down markets, and also we went over the list on how to create financial freedom, which is the first step to building true wealth, is to reach financial freedom. That's when we have assets paying for all of our living expenses. And then we can focus on building true wealth by accumulating more cash flow and assets. Drop in the comments what we learned. And if you have any questions, let us know. Go to our website, check out all of our products. When we get in on any of our digital products, as we move forward, we will add more assets into each digital product that we have on our website to emphasize more on the topic. However, whoever gets in at whatever time we get in, anything that we add after that time is going to be available to us at no additional cost. So in a year from now, this curriculum right here on how to build cash flow with the internet, ebook, and digital course will definitely be more valuable because we will have added more assets to help us build cash flow online. Tools, we'll have resources, we'll have systems. We'll also have exclusive interviews with wealthy entrepreneurs, legends, new entrepreneurs that will emphasize more on the topic of each digital course. So it's a great deal to get in right now. Make sure you go to our website, click the link somewhere in the description of this talk, and have access to the digital courses right now, because in a year, 5 years from now, they're going to be worth a lot more. And when we get in right now, we'll be able to have all of those extra assets for no additional cost. So it's a win-win partnership. Welcome to Master Investor, bringing you the good and bad news of money, the business principles that work in all economies. We'll talk tomorrow. And make sure to subscribe, share, and like. Stay extraordinary and wealthy. Bye for now.